Sad to say I'm on my way, won't be back for many a days. My head is down, my head is turning around. I had to leave a little girl in King.
The enigma Raila Amollo Odinga. Who exactly is this man, Raila Odinga? Raila Amollo Odinga. For some, he is the father of Kenyan democracy. To others, a symbol of defiance. And to many Kenyans and Africans, he is simply Baba, the man who refused to bow, even when the weight of a nation tried to break him. In Nairobi's streets, a young Raila found his stride. He was born on January 7, 1945, in Maseno, Western Kenya, son of Jaramogi Odinga, Kenya's first vice president. From birth, his life was not just personal, it was political. He inherited not land or wealth, but the burden of unfinished dreams, carrying the hopes of a young nation that needed democracy, a voice, a representative, and a shield from both oppressors and comrades in power. Raila studied engineering in East Germany, but what he built was far greater than bridges or machines. He built the architecture of resistance. When he returned home, he entered politics in a country where truth was dangerous and silence was survival. But Raila was never one for silence. In 1982, he was arrested, accused of involvement in a failed coup. He spent 8 years behind bars, 8 years, much of it in solitary confinement. No trial, no freedom, no voice, only the hum of darkness and the knowledge that his people still needed him. In the darkness, resilience took root. He emerged unbroken, not a victim, a visionary reborn. He called for democracy when it was suicidal to do so. He stood against tyranny, against corruption, against the idea that power should belong to a few.
Crowd chanting. Baba, Raila.
They tried to silence him again. They exiled him. They called him a rebel, a troublemaker, a threat to stability. But the truth is, Raila Odinga was not fighting for chaos. He was fighting for a Kenya that could finally breathe. He helped usher in the new constitution. He fought for devolution, equity, and justice. He walked hand in hand with the people, even when the system shut its doors on him. He ran for president 5 times. Each time his supporters said the same thing: "This time Baba will win." And each time the dream slipped away. But losing did not make him smaller. It made him larger than life. Because Raila Odinga was never defined by the title he didn't have, but by the courage he never lost. Love him or hate him, you could not ignore him. He inspired loyalty that bordered on devotion, and he provoked fear in those who preferred silence. Behind the firebrand was a husband and father, Ida, his anchor, his partner through prison and politics alike. Together, they built more than a family. They built endurance. Their home was a place where laughter and pain lived side by side. He lost a son, Fidel, and yet he still stood before crowds, preaching hope. How does a man hold a nation's pain and his own, and still smile? Perhaps that's the mystery of Baba. He carried Kenya like a cross, and still managed to lead her with grace.
Let us move forward as one people.
As he aged, his fire never dimmed. He became a statesman, the elder whose words still moved millions. He forgave enemies, shook hands with rivals, and stood beside presidents he once opposed. Not because he forgot, but because he believed in healing. And now, as news of his passing spreads, Kenya does not just lose a politician. We lose a symbol, a compass, a man whose imperfections were as grand as his ambitions. He was loved because he gave people hope. He was hated because he threatened the comfortable. He was feared because he could not be controlled. Who was Raila Odinga? He was a dream that refused to die. He was the echo of every Kenyan who said, "We deserve better." He was the bridge between generations. between old wounds and new possibilities. The legend ends not in victory, but in legacy, because even now, in silence, his voice still calls out from the wind. Stand firm, speak truth, do not bow.
Round the Bay of Mexico, where the sun shines daily on a mountain top, I took a trip on a sailing ship. When I reached Jamaica, I made a stop. But I'm sad to say I'm on my way. Won't be back for many a days. My head is down, my head is turning around. I had to leave a little girl in Kingston town.